A few days ago, I was reading a research article from Anthropic titled What 81,000 People Told Us About the Economics of AI. What makes this study interesting is that it doesn't just look at how people are using AI, it tries to understand how people are experiencing it economically. The data comes over 81,000 open ended responses from users of Claude AI where people talked about their work, their productivity, and their concerns about the future. So let's go straight to the findings. So, finding number one is people in AI exposed jobs are more concerned about job displacement. Now, first, we need to talk about what does really AI exposure mean. And it's not maybe what you think, it's based on what AI is actually doing. So AI exposure measures how much of a job's tasks are already being performed using AI tool like Claude. So instead of asking, do you feel your job is at risk? The study looks at how much of your job is already being done by AI. So let me give an example. Like a software engineer have a high exposure because many of their tasks like coding, debugging are already being done with AI. Now, elementary school teachers have very low exposure since their work involves human interaction that AI is not performing. So, what the study finds is that as the exposure increases, concern about job displacement increases. That means software engineers are more worried about their jobs getting displaced. For every 10% increase in exposure, perceived job threat rises by about 1.3 percentage points. That's what the Anthropic study says. And the difference is significant. People in the top 25% exposure mention job concerns three times more often than those in the bottom 25%. Now, let's go to the finding two. Now, this is pretty easy to understand. Um, Early career workers are significantly more worried than senior workers. So, early career workers are much more likely to express concern about job displacement than the senior professionals are less likely to express that concern. Finding three is people report substantial productivity gains from AI. So, on the productivity side, the study doesn't just rely on vague statements, it actually defines a scale. So, they have a scale 1 to 7, where 1 means less productive, 2 means no change, 3 or 4 means slight to moderate improvement, 5 means substantially more productive, 6 means much more productive, and 7 means transformational. Means AI fundamentally changes what or how much they can produce. So the average score was 5.1, which means substantially more productive. So most users are not just slightly better, they are seeing meaningful productivity improvements with some experiencing transformational gains. At the same time, about 3% reported neutral or negative impact, so a minority of people. Now, finding four is productivity gains are the highest at both ends of income spectrum. Now, this is interesting. The people in high paying jobs report strong productivity gains, but some low wage workers also report significant gains. So, in some cases, the low wage workers are using AI to save time or even start a side business. So, it's interesting. The productivity gains are across the board. They're with high income spectrum as well as low income spectrum. The finding five is most productivity gains come from doing new tasks, and that means scope expansion. Now, Anthropic breaks productivity into four categories. Scope is doing new things, speed is doing things faster, quality, and cost. And the most common improvement is about 48% of the users who mentioned productivity said that AI helped them do tasks they couldn't do before. And about 40% of them mentioned speed improvements. Finding six is most people believe they personally benefit from AI. So when they were asked who benefits from AI productivity, majority say that they themselves benefit, and around 10% say the employers or the clients benefit more. So, and there's also a difference by experience. 80% of the senior workers report personal benefit versus only 60% of early career workers report personal benefit. Now, finding seven is higher productivity is associated with higher job anxiety. The study finds nuanced relationship between productivity gains and job concern. The relationship is U-shaped, meaning people with low or negative gains are more worried, but people with very high gains are also worried. And as productivity increases, the job anxiety also increases because they start to see the power of AI, you know. So their anxiety increases that, well, AI is doing most of the stuff. What am I going to do? So, in a nutshell, when you put all of this together, the picture is quite balanced, right? People are becoming more productive, other often feeling personally empowered. At the same time, they're increasingly concerned about job displacement, especially in roles where AI is already doing a meaningful share of work. And that's it. While people are also worried about economic displacement, right? Uh, Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. This is the OMC Real Estate Podcast. Even though it's a real estate podcast, we often take up interesting topics that are not necessarily related to real estate. Our website is oldmoneycapital.com and our Instagram is oldmoneycapital123. Our YouTube channel is Old Money Capital. Please visit our website and call request a call button to arrange a call with us where we can tell you how we can help you with multifamily investing. Thank you very much for listening again.